Coming up on Footy Feed Year in Review, shock moves.
How much will the Lions miss Dane Beams, and does Dylan Shiel hold the key to a Bombers finals win? Hello everyone and welcome to Footy Feed Year in Review. Now the trade period gets bigger and bigger every season, and Matt, it was no different in 2018. Plenty of surprises.
That's for sure. Nat Edwards, Matt Thompson with Mitch, Cleary and Nick Bowen. And Mitch, let's start with you. Dylan Shiel, we talked about him an awful lot.
He finally got to the Essendon Footy Club in the last half hour of the NAB AFL trade period. 3 clubs he settled on to begin with, took his time, worked right through it. And the Giants, they get 2 first-round draft picks. The Bombers get a ready-made midfielder.
Big trade period for the Giants, wasn't it? I think we saw them absolutely, the club almost, not obliterated, but geez, it was a really massive sort of trade period for them, wasn't it? I mean, I think the big shock was when Tom Scully went at the end of it as well. Obviously, Rory Lobb and Will Setterfield having gone earlier. 4 very big players. They've got a heap of money off the books.
And Nick, what about Lachie Neale? That deal was always going to get done, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Lions did a really good job. I think they sold the vision, they sold the exciting young club, and they've got a very, very good midfielder. Probably not ideal that they lose Dane Beams out the other side. They probably envisage both of those guys playing together, but still a very, very good acquisition.
Speaking of Beams, Mitch, for you, this was one of the biggest stories of the trade period.
We thought this one was dead and buried 2 weeks ago until the end of the season and the trade period, and then it came back to life. The Lions didn't even know about it. So Dane Beams gets to Collingwood, back to where he won a flag back in 2010. And look at that midfield now, Nick, that Collingwood midfield. Adsvin de Goey, Pendlebury, Trelaw, Sidebottom. This club could go anywhere in 2019.
The only question, I reckon, Mitch, and you're right, is did they get the player they needed? Are they better off getting a key position player? They're obviously massively in for Tom Lynch. Tigers got there. You'd be very happy with that, Tomo. And Stephen May was the other one, I think, that could have really bolstered their backline, and they were very keen for him as well. But obviously the D's swung that one with being prepared to part with Jesse Hogan.
Now, while all of those guys that you mentioned found new homes, unfortunately for Tim Kelly, he stays at Geelong. He didn't get his wish to go back to WA. How do you see that playing out in 2019?
Well, we're going to talk about it a lot in 2019, aren't we? It's going to be the next 12 months on the agenda. He's returned to Geelong and everything seems on track right now. He'll go back to WA for the Christmas period and spend time with family, Tim Kelly. But the Cats, they wanted those first-round draft picks. The Eagles weren't forthcoming.
They've got a reputation as being one of the fairest traders. So for them to, I think, turn their back on that was a genuine surprise. I thought the Eagles' offer was pretty good, but the Cats are obviously entitled to stick to their guns and hold Tim to his contract.
Jesse Hogan was one of the other moves that I think we're going to be watching to see how that plays out since he arrived at Fremantle. But what about the people that stayed? I mean, Gaff, McGovern, and then Jordan De Goey as well. He's obviously got that new deal that locks him in at the Pies for a couple of years, but he could be a talking point down the track too.
Well, Gaff was a big one. We thought for all money he was going to North Melbourne late in the season. We saw him in the stands for the premiership. He was watching on and forced to sit there and watch his teammates win that flag. So he stays, McGovern stays, a massive boost for the Eagles.
Yeah, they lose Lysette, and I mean, I think of the free agents they had, if you had to lose one, that's probably it. But look, it's probably continued, as you say, the Gaff, the run of near misses the Kangas have had. They'll be keen to change that this year.
Josh Kelly, watch this space. 12 months' time, we will be talking about him.
All right, good start. We will be back with more episodes of Footy Feed Year in Review as we move through the summer. So stay with us here on afl.com.au and the AFL Live app.